The big story breaking right now, India's fifth Omicron case and Delhi's first has now been reported. A man who arrived in Delhi from Tanzania was admitted to the Nayak Prakash hospital in the city. Has been found positive with the new COVID variant of Omicron. The first two cases had been reported in Karnataka yesterday. The third and the fourth cases of the infection were reported from Gujarat's Jamnagar and Maharashtra's Dombivli, respectively. But the first case now being confirmed in the national capital. The new variant, first detected in South Africa on the 25th of November, has now spread to multiple countries globally. It's been described as a variant of concern by the WHO as well. Let's listen in to what Delhi's health minister had to say.
अभी तक 17 पॉजिटिव पेशेंट्स LNJP में भर्ती किए गए हैं. जो भी पॉजिटिव आता है उसको सीधा LNJP में भर्ती किया जाता है. साथ में 6 उनके कॉन्टैक्ट्स, मतलब 23 लोग हो गए. 6 कॉन्टैक्ट्स जैसे फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं तो वो साथ में हैं. उनको टेस्टिंग के लिए इनकी रिपोर्ट के इंतजार किया जा रहा है. टेस्टिंग दोबारा कराई गई है. तो 17 जो पॉजिटिव हैं उसमें जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग कराई गई. तो अभी तक 12 लोगों की जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग की हो चुकी है और एक उसमें से जो है ओमिक्रॉन का पेशेंट लगता है कि जो तंजानिया से आया है.
All right, Sonakshi joining us live now from Delhi's International Airport. Sonakshi, we've been talking about how there are very strict screening rules and regulations that are currently applicable at the airport. And as we just heard from Delhi's health minister as well, those who've tested positive are immediately being moved to the LNJP hospital, which is being seen as a dedicated Omicron hospital, as it were. And samples being sent for genome testing. So the first such instance of a genome sequencing test that has found an Omicron variant. What more are we hearing about the passenger and his contacts?
Well, Ankita, so this is India's fifth Omicron positive patient case that we have now reported. This is Delhi's first. So this is the first Omicron variant positive case found from a man who's returned from Tanzania into Delhi, and he has been admitted at the LNJP hospital. We have been reporting about all those international passengers who have been flying into Delhi from at-risk nations. For anybody who was tested COVID positive, their genome the samples were sent for the genome sequencing, out of the 12 cases, one of them today, as we are reporting now, has been tested positive for the Omicron variant. What we are learning right now is that the patient is in absolute strict monitoring. LNJP hospital, which was earlier a COVID dedicated hospital earlier this year, has now been transformed into a dedicated Omicron hospital, which essentially means that anybody who is found positive for the Omicron variant will be monitored, will be admitted and isolated at this particular hospital. And like you heard from the Delhi's health minister, Satyendra Jain, talking about the strict monitoring that is being taking place for these international passengers. And I want to give you a quick view of these international passengers coming in at the Delhi International Airport. I have been here for the last few days and I've been seeing that passengers are in fact following those strict rules and guidelines. Many continuing to wear those face shields, double masking, and some even with gloves in hand. So at the Delhi International Airport, authorities doing their best to cater to international passengers, increasing the seating capacity, increasing testing counters. But yes, this is Delhi's first such Omicron variant, first case of Delhi. The patient is being observed very strictly, and we will only in time find out more as we learn about this new variant of Omicron. I also want to show to you and our viewers a few people that we had spoken to, some very comfortable speaking to us, some who did not want to come on camera. They told us that the harrowing experience continues at the airports for international passengers. While they are following those rules, some of them still being at the receiving end of some teething issues like testing issues and guideline issues. So listen in to one such passenger I spoke to who flew in from Germany into India just this morning. We're at the Delhi International Airport. Today is the 5th day since India has revised its guidelines for international air passengers. The Delhi International Airport Authority doing its best to cater to these international passengers who are coming in. Approximately 2,000 to 2,500 passengers coming in on a daily basis from various international destinations. Now, especially for those who are coming from at-risk nations, there's a list, remember, that India has formulated of 13 to 14 nations. So passengers who are coming in from at-risk nations will have to mandatorily go through those RT-PCR tests. A passenger has two options, a rapid RT-PCR and a regular RT-PCR. Now, several passengers we have spoken to over the last few days, we also understand have faced some teething issues.
I recently came from Munich via Dubai to Delhi airport. And so right now, because of the whole COVID situation, things are a little strict. So at first we had to fill an Air Suvidha form. So on that there was a red mark which said that we're coming from a high risk area because of the new variant. So they said that since I'm vaccinated and I have a negative RT-PCR test, that after coming to Delhi I won't have to get tested again. But after I landed here, randomly they said, no, you need to get tested. And when I tried talking to them that, no, I already have an RT-PCR test, they're like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated, you still have to get it. And they were basically charging 3,500 for a rapid test. And I think rapid tests are supposed to be cheaper. And for an RT-PCR test, they were charging 500. But the thing was, for an RT-PCR test, I would have to wait 6 to 8 hours. So I paid 3,500 for a rapid test, in which the result was supposed to come after 1 or 2 hours. I got the test done, and after that, nothing. They didn't care. We just left, and we went through immigration. They just checked if we'd gotten the test done. On that, they'd given a stamp which said a test done, and there was a receipt for the payment. And after that, they just let us leave.
So what you're saying is that you've undergone the rapid RT-PCR at the Delhi airport, at the Delhi International Airport, but you don't know what your test results are.
Exactly. I don't know what my test results are, and nobody seems to care.
With camera person Sanjay Kaushik at the Delhi International Airport, Shanakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.